Okay, finally, I think I got this thing working. I'm not entirely sure. This is the first time I've ever done a stream before, so I'm just going to give people a few minutes to get on before we get started. Let's see. That might actually help. Oh, we got one lurker. Un lurker. We're just giving everyone a minute to get on, so sorry it's so boring right now. Oh, another lurker. How you doing? Hey! It took me a minute to figure this out. I also got started a little bit later than I wanted to. Can you hear me okay? Eggplants in the chat if you can hear me. Take your time typing. Okay, fabulous. Awesome. Oh, that's funny. Well, I'm glad you're here, Akagami-sama. Alrighty. I think I'm gonna wait maybe. Yeah, I don't know if I should wait any longer. Let's see. Gonna wait maybe like one more minute, and then I think I'm gonna actually like get started. But while we're hanging out, I can give you guys a short little introduction. So my name's Talésaria. Hi, nice to meet you. I run this channel here with Kimmy. She does animations, and I do anime-related videos such as like reviews and whatnot. And normally I would go with more of like the video essay type format in order to review. But after a while, I kind of started realizing that like I didn't really like that format as much, and I kind of wanted to spend more time talking, to you and with you about these shows than like at you. Like not to mention that there are so many channels that are like, oh, I'm angry and I'm raging, so let me like rage at you some more about this show. Like, I don't know, like I feel like there's a lot of ragey people on the internet, and like that's great, that works for them, but that doesn't work for me so much. Like, I'm not like that angry all the time about shows, so I figured this would be much more fun to give you guys a chance to kind of, we banter back and forth about some of the atrocious shows we've been watching. What have you been watching lately, Akagami? Something better than what I've been watching, I hope. Maybe they're typing. I don't know. This is the type dance. Well, while they type, oh, there we go. Uh, oh, I need to catch up on Attack on Titan. I'm behind on that one. I'm really behind on that one. I think season 3 just dropped, right? Hey, JFM! Glad you can make it. Welcome. I'm so excited. So happy you're here. Uh, yeah, I'm so stoked he was able to join. That's awesome. I was just giving people a couple minutes to kind of start filtering in. Um, but I'm thinking I might start getting started here. I was just talking with Akagami about Attack on Titan and how I need to catch up. And One Punch Man, new season of that's supposed to be coming soon if it hasn't dropped already. So that's pretty exciting. Like, went forever. Oh, are you selling your wares in the chat? Are you hawking your wares in the chat? The plot thickens. The plot thickens. I see you, Akagami. I see you hawking your wares. I'm watching you. Sure. That's what everybody says. That's what everybody says. Sweet. Well, it's almost yeah, it's been almost 10 minutes. So oh, I have a question from GFM. I'm good. I'm not sure how Hakagami is, but I'm doing pretty good. Uh Decided to actually give this whole live streaming thing here a shot. YouTube is really weird when doing your live streams. Like, just in case you ever decide to stream GFM, it takes 24 hours for your account to be enabled to stream. So, like, if you plan on doing a stream, like, make sure that you go into your account and set that up 24 hours before. Otherwise, you won't be able to do it, or you'll have to use Twitch. Like, low key. Maybe this is why everybody is running the Twitch. Just saying. Sorry, not sorry. This is kind of ridiculous. I'm almost thinking it is. I wanted to give YouTube a try just because I knew that this was something that YouTube had the capability of. Although now I'm seeing that it's not maybe necessarily the best choice for a reason. Like this. Oof. Aw, that's a shame. Yeah, I know you're supposed to have the option to archive it, but I don't know, maybe they're stupid and broken. Like, that's obnoxious. Sorry you weren't able to archive your stuff. That sucks. Yeah, it does suck. So yeah, this was kind of more or less just an experiment. So if I hate streaming here, maybe I'll just use Twitch instead, like a human. Like normal people do. Like, oh my gosh. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and jump in. Since we've been streaming for a bit here. I made like a little list of shows just because I've been watching a lot of shows lately on Netflix, and not all of them have been what you would call quality. Like, I think Netflix has this problem where they've got, a lot of options for shows, but as far as like, they're not all going to be, Full Metal Alchemist or Code Geass. Like, they're all kind of like, ugh. Oh yeah, I'm happy to be streaming too. Where was I? Sorry, I was just distracted by the chat. You people, all 2 of you in the chat, need to dial it back. All 2 of you, all 2 of you need to relax. Thank you. Yeah, they have a lot of quantity over quality. I just have to give you a hard time, JFM. I actually like you guys talking to me. Makes me less nervous. But yeah, so some of them have been okay. Some of them have been Not so okay. So recently, I watched Swordgai, which like it was all right. Like, first of all, like the name's kind of punny, like because the guy's name is Guy, but he's also a sword guy. Get it, guys? He's a sword guy. He's so clever, you guys. They're so hilarious. Like, oh, never thought of that. So the show starts out with your classic, dark haired, brooding, sad backstory protagonist, where he is just living his life in this shrine or whatever. When one day his friend gets possessed by this sword and cuts off his arm. And like all of the weapons in this show, basically, like over time, they can either become possessed by spirits or they can take on a life of their own. So think of Zoro's cursed swords, but on steroids, where they pretty much, can become almost like demons and they possess people and make them into Busoma. So this particular sword, whose name I am forgetting, the Shiryu, I think is what it was called, possessed his friend and she chops off his arm. And so instead of like going to the hospital like human and like getting a prosthetic like human, they decide, oh, let's just melt the sword down and weld it to this kid's body. So then the kid has an arm, metal arm, full metal kid, made of this sword, this demon sword that he's constantly having to like fight as well as like, be controlled by like throughout the course of the series. And that was like such a Kagami sounds like current healthcare to me. It's pretty shady, but I don't know. Like, first of all, like I had problems with that. I'm like, why didn't they just take him to the hospital? Like, why would you take a sword? Like, they were keeping the sword in this temple because they knew that it had some evil spirit in it. Like, but instead, they're like, oh, let's put it on this teenager's body because nothing bad will happen. So, like, let me see. I don't know if on here I can show you guys screenshots. I'm kind of afraid to click anything. Like, honestly, like it took me forever to get this to work. So I'm kind of terrified to click anything. Let's put it on live. Anyway, you'll just have to take my word for it that the main character is as generic can be. I'm using what is it? The webcam live? That's what it's called, JFM. Yeah. And I'm not sure if there's like a screen share option in here. Jesus. It just lets me pop it out. But I'm just like, I would like to I can send you guys stuff in the chat. That's weird. That's weird. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going. I had pictures. I actually had visual aids. I had pictures of the characters and stuff. But it doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to show you those. But that's okay. But yeah, he's pretty much generic as generic can be. He's very stoic, very moody. He's got a female character that's fawning over his pubes, and he's just not having it. Season 1 was like okay. Season 2 was better, but like not by very much. And we introduce a nice guy character in the show where he is literally the palette swap version of the dark-haired kid. He has white hair, and he also wants the girl character's pubes, but she doesn't really want his pubes all butthurt and bent out of shape because like she was talking to the Sasuke character guy, and like was literally going low key like yandere. Like every time she would talk to him and look at him, she's like, "Why are you looking at me?" Ugh. So this is who we have to root for is cardboard box and the nice guy TM. So yeah, they didn't really give us much to work with. So I would say, if you're bored, you can put it on in the background, but as far as like shows go, there's better stuff. Like it's okay. It's not the worst. It didn't piss me off. And the concept of the swords and weapons, like all having their own like spirits and all having their own stories about how they got the spirits and how they took on, this killer instinct was actually cool. Like that part was actually really cool. But the execution is where they just face planted into the dirt. Like you're just like, why you messed this up? You had you had something here, but you just so yeah, watch it if you want to, but Shaman King, no, did Shaman King do that? Did Shaman King Shaman King did that a little bit. I think you're right. It's been a while since I read it. It's kind of funny. I have like all the manga, but like I barely remember it. But yeah, Kagami, I think Shaman King did do something similar. I can't remember if uh the spirit themselves was just a spirit and then they fought alongside the person, or if the weapon was possessed and you had to wield them that way. Someone fact check me in the chat. Fact check me in the chat. Gonna fact check me in the chat. Cause I'm too lazy to look it up. I said, hey, fact check in the chat. Okay, I'm done now. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, I'm not sure, so you have to check. But and the animation wasn't bad. Like they did a mix of 2D and 3D animation. So the Busoma were 3D animated, and they're like mecha demons, which I thought was like awesome. It was so Japan. I was living for it. Like, they would figure out how can we make more mechs. Okay, let's take a demon and make it mecha. Let's take a demon katana and make it mecha. Like all of these things together. It's like, yes, it's good. But I mean, the rest of it could have used some help. But overall, it was harmless. So it didn't offend me. It wasn't like I was pissed off at it. So can't say that about every show I watch. That's for fucking sure. My God. Have you either of you guys seen it? Yeah, Akagami, you should have some drinks and watch it. See how you feel about it. Like, I feel like either way you'll have a good time. If it's not the oh JFM you're behind, that's okay. That's okay. And Netflix, like I was saying earlier, they just like I don't know how much potty mouth I want to have on this stream. I'll try to keep it PG. I'm allowed one. But they just like shit these out rapid fire. Like it seems like every few days I'm seeing an article saying, "Oh, there's new animes coming." I'm like, "But is it good? Is it gonna be good?" Like you can't. It's nice that you have them and you're trying to compete with like Funimation and Crunchyroll and even Hulu. But I'm just like, for fuck's sake, like have some good shows, please. Yes, we do. Which other show were we talking about, Akagami? I don't remember which one we were supposed to watch. While you work on that, I'm going to move on to our next show. Oh, what was it? The Go Princess one. Oh, was that the Precure one that we were supposed to watch? Where they were like pop singers, but also princesses. Oh, okay. So it was that one. wasn't there a lolly no, I'm gonna mess this up. Lolly Rock, wasn't that the same thing? Oh, Kagami, you spoiled Shaman King. Oh, you spoiled Shaman King? That's okay. I mean, it sucks that it was spoiled for you, but the ending was so anticlimactic that maybe you were spared, you know, but like reading 30 volumes only for it to work out the way it did. So maybe you're better off. Maybe you're just better off not having sat through that. Time is precious. um I got bored one day and just decided to wiki the ending just because I was so behind in the manga. I was just like, I just gotta know. And then when they told me, I was like, oh wow. Hmm. Why I didn't get like super invested. Although I have kind of an inordinate number of them. I've got like 20. Yeah, I've got most of them. Honestly, I feel like I should just go ahead and buy the rest just because I'm a completionist. Just so I can have the collection because I'm a nerd and they know that we're like, we like shiny things and we like collectibles. Like that's why I feel like amiibos are so successful. um I got derailed. Sorry about that. So the next one I wanted to talk about was Voltron. Have you guys gotten a chance to get caught up on all of those yet? I hope you did. Because I'm gonna spoil it so hard. You're gonna get so spoiled. I'm kidding. I'm gonna try not to spoil it for you. It's really good though. I feel like this season is far and away like this last season, I think it was season 7, was like far and away like the best season that they've had. Like I feel like this show has only gotten better with time. And like I feel like this last season they took the kids' gloves off. Oh, oh no, all I hear about is the Voltron fandom on Tumblr. Oh, sad. Stay off Tumblr. Stay away from Tumblr. Stay away. Like I don't go on there for Voltron. I avoid Steven Universe on there. Like pretty much if you want to see your fandom die, you go on Tumblr. Like Tumblr I feel like is just I'm sorry, it's just cancer. Like it's fandom cancer. Like I feel like the worst people come out in droves on there. And, then there's like, posts and posts and posts about discourse. And then you get the people that are like, calling each other out. And then you get the people that are like, oh, well, you drew this character in a way I didn't like. Your, insert like, phobia here. And it just gets gross really, really fast. So I would recommend just staying away. Yeah, they are. Like, unfortunately. And I don't know, I feel like they just get the gang mentality so easily. So, they'll just dogpile one person they don't like if they, ship people they don't agree with or whatever. Um, I feel like this last season of Voltron was great. I thought the animation was great. I thought the story arcs were great. I thought we saw some great character development. And it feels like they took the kid gloves off this season and actually, gave us something, gave us some meat and potatoes. Like, because it seemed like before, like, they were very, they want to keep it a kid show, and they have a hard line to walk with it being a kid show and having to appease, their Netflix overlords as well as keep their fandom happy. So that's kind of like a narrow tightrope. But I feel like this season they were able to step it up while still keeping it, PG and acceptable. Because if you like, even if you look it up, a lot of the stuff says it's supposed to be family friendly, and so I can get why, you know, it's so difficult. Oh, good. I'm sorry that Jeff, I'm sorry that you had to deal with that. Yeah, they do. Yeah, if you haven't been completely put off the show and like completely frightened away, I would totally recommend, checking it out in your spare time, like, just when you have a minute. Like, I think it's a good show, and I don't look up my favorite shows on there. Like, I don't. Like, I just avoid it. I avoid the discourse TM. There's discourse and then there's discourse. Like, you know exactly, like, if you've been on there, you know exactly the type of stuff that, you'll see up there. So just avoid it and you'll be better for it. You can just enjoy your fandom in peace. Like, there was a lot of stuff they were talking about this season, which I probably won't get into on this stream. Um, Golden Jester! Hey! Yes, discourse, TM. The worst kind. Um, that name, though. I hope next stream your name just keeps getting longer and longer. Like, please make it like a paragraph. That's great. Spend it. I need a first and second name. They're really. I wish they would stop that, but yeah, they're really picky about how you have to put your name in. So I couldn't be just Talésaria. Like, I had to kind of like trick it into letting me do this. And I feel like even then I had to put in something like as like a placeholder name. It's goofy. Yeah, you do, Akagami. Like, for if you're like making an account and stuff, they make you enter in a first and last name. It's dumb, especially because most of us don't even use our real names anyway. So it's like, what is the deal? What is the problem? Like, what? I don't want to use my birth certificate name on the internet. Like, what? Yeah, it's pretty dumb. So Golden Jester, to catch you up, we were talking about Voltron and how, like, it's a good show, but you want to just never look at it up on Tumblr, like, never. And SSN, yes. But yeah, you never want to look it up on Tumblr ever. Just don't do it, and you're just better for it. Like, I know, it's so unfortunate. Like, you type in one character's name, and it's just like, okay, like, internet. I like Yaoi is fine. Like, that's great, but like, can we just tone it back a little bit? Like, can we all just relax a little bit? Like, I get it, like, it's magical and it's amazing, but can we please all just, relax on the yaoi for like a minute? Like, I swear to God, like, Voltron came out and like it was just ships as far as the eye could see. I was like, can we just like relax for a second? Like, calm it down. Like, please think of the children. Yes, please think of the children. Especially because it's not just like holding hands or like cute stuff. Like, it's like raunchy NC-17, like. Like, I mean, I feel like yaoi, like the yaoi fandom has gotten only more and more intense over the years, and like the stuff you see, you're like, and you have your safe search on, and you're like, holy Jesus, I did not even know that was a position. Like, how are they even bending that way? Like, I did not even know Lance's spine could do that. Like, I almost want the physics explained to me of this picture. Like, you're just like got out like diagrams. You're like, how did you manage this? How are you not dead? That is true, Akagami. People can be a little bit less considerate in that respect. I mean, honestly, I feel like it's just like, to each their own, but I really wish that people would like, relax. Like, relax. but it's too much to ask, I guess. But yeah, Golden Jester. If you haven't seen, if you're not caught up, I would totally recommend it. Um, just yeah, ignore the discourse right now. Like, there's some things I agree with what they're saying, and there's some things where I'm just like, okay, I feel like your expectations are up here, and you kind of assumed that this is how it was going to be, and this is how you envisioned it, and it wasn't, and now you're mad. Like, rather than it actually being a problem with the show, it has more to do with what you expected out of the show. But that's just my opinion, you know. Feel free to disagree, but yes. Man, this is way more fun than just like recording an episode. I love talking to you guys. This is so much fun so far. Oh, Golden Jester's asking me, what's my favorite part of Voltron? Um, my favorite part of Voltron is the flying robot space cats. That is top notch. That is top tier. As the young children say today, that is bae. I'm just kidding. No one says that anymore. Seriously though, I think my favorite part is like the team. Like, I'm kind of a sap where I love those types of shows. That's probably why I love One Piece. Hey, so much as like, they have their nakama and like the team grows together, and you get to see all of them progress throughout the seasons and get stronger and have to work out all of their beef and their differences with each other. So I feel like, I don't know, I like that a lot. Like most shows, I look for good characters, and I feel like this show has good characters. So Shiro is my favorite character. He is Bae. He is Bae. Fight me. Yes, Akagami, they're flying robot cats. They're flying robot cats that form into a giant mechazord. So you need to watch this. If you're not watching this, you need to go and wait till my stream is done. You wait till my stream is done. You don't leave. You don't go anywhere. And then you watch it. Oh yeah. Yeah. Expectations can make it difficult. I feel like and I feel like just fandom has that problem in general where they expect, we expect to be given a certain thing and then it doesn't work out. Akemi! Hello! You should be sorry. We've been sitting here talking about how Akemi's late. So Akemi is my channel mate. She like I mentioned before, she's does animations and stuff. Say hello to Akemi. Glad you can make it, although I'm judging you. I'll take a moment to judge her also. Yeah. I'm not impressed with you. Look at me not be impressed. Mm-hmm. This is my you sorry, you don't have to apologize. I'm just giving you a hard time. Judgment, yes. Judge her. Kimmy, why'd you have to take it there? Why'd you have to take it there? Is your quality really low? Oh my, how did I just become a daddy? Wow, first stream and someone in my chat became a daddy. This is exciting, guys. And who says the anime community doesn't bring quality to the internet? It's not for my daddy, it's daddy. Oh, you guys are great. Have you been watching anything lately, Akemi? Hopefully something with less discourse and controversy surrounding it. Besides Zig and Sharko, not much. Okay. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that show. It was a cartoon, right? That was kind of reminiscent of Tom and Jerry and such. That's okay though. Like I feel like even though this is like an anime like stream, we can talk about cartoons here too. All are welcome. Especially because like lately, I feel like cartoons have been stepping their game up. Like I feel like as far as story and stuff, I feel like they've been getting their act together. I feel like the 2000s were. I feel like the mid 2000s were kind of where things really kind of took a nosedive, and then like 2010 onward, people started getting it together. Like, hey, if this can be an animated show, but also have substance. Wow, we can actually spend more than $2 animating this, and people will watch it. Imagine that. Just checking the chat here. Yes. I'm gonna have to check that out. Zig and Sharko. Okay. If it's bad, I'm gonna get up here on live and roast you, Akemi. This is gonna be a live roasting of Akemi. So this show had better be top notch. Okay, it had better be my hopes and dreams. Okay. Why you do this? Why are you like this? Gold Jester's like, why wait to roast Akemi's like, toast me hard. Cerberus, good to see you. I'm glad you can make it. Yeah, we were talking about how it's kind of a pain to make your account, and it makes you choose a first and last name. People have had problems getting up here, so but glad you made it. Say hi to Cerberus. I just like doing that. That's just fun. um, let's see. Have you guys seen Violet and Evergarden yet? Waiting for the chat. 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 Okay, here we go. Okay, so no one's seen it. Okay. It's okay. I want to be nice to this show. I do. It's not a bad show, but it's not what you're expecting at all. Like, because Violet's design, she looks like Full Metal Violet. Like, it looks like it's going to be an action show. It looks like it's going to be like, oh shit, like this bitch is fighting people. But it is more of an emotional and feel show. Yeah, yeah, Cerberus, it could have been FMA. Like, where it was like, emotional and deep. But instead, what we got was like, okay, so I'll back it up a little bit. So it's about so all the awesome shit happened before the show. So this is after the war. After the war in their universe, Violet she was basically a human like weapon. And the war's over now. So they're like, "Okay, what do we do with you? Your commander's gone. I guess we'll give you a job at a post office." She's given a position called a doll, where literally their job is to transcribe letters for people, because I guess this was in the times where nobody could read or write, so they had to have other people do it for them. And so throughout the show, she is supposed to be learning about like what it means, what love is, and basically what it means to be a person and stuff like deep stuff like that. Um, which isn't a bad story, but I'm gonna be that bro and say like it wasn't necessarily the show, like the story I was expecting or wanted, especially because the person that she's in love with is like way older than her, like uncomfortably older, and it just feels like on the one hand you're rooting for her and you're hoping she figures it out, but on the other hand you're like, this girl, she is a little girl, she is like 14 or 13 or something, like she is a little girl, and the person who's in love with her is like way older, and you're like, bruh, like yeah, it does. Yeah, like, and I feel like lots of people could relate to the war being over and then having to rehabituate to uh normal life. So it's a daddy show. Yes. Yes. I don't think it should be, but I mean Hi Apple Blossom. So, okay, I don't want to describe this too much in this stream because I don't want to get flagged. But basically, let's talk offline, Akagami. Let's talk offline. Let's talk offline about like that. Um okay, Golden Jester has a good. Okay, yeah, thank you, chat. The chat is thank you, bless, because I was about to like actually start like explaining this. Thank you, chat. Read the chat. Bless. I'm like, oh Jesus. Golden Jester. I'm not sure I became a daddy expert. I have regret. The stream got racy. It did. So, blame the chat. I'm blaming it all on the chat, even though, yeah, I'm blaming it all on the chat because I can. Yeah. So, and I mean, to be fair though, the show does that, and it really does make you feel awkward. Like it's not the same as like the relationship between like Riza and Roy, where they're close in age and like they've built this relationship over years and they fought with each other. So it's like you're like, okay, this is a grown ass woman in love with a grown ass man. This is like, okay, this is a little girl and her like, I don't know. Like it made me really uncomfortable. Like it made me really uncomfortable. So yeah, but if you're somebody who is in the mood for like feels and stuff like that, maybe this will be a show for you. I'm kind of a bro. I like explosions and like people dying and shit. Like I like action. So for me, like even though I thought it was a great story and thought it was cute, I still there was that like 12-year-old boy part of me that was like I was like where did the people explode, what the fuck. Like when does this shit happen? Apple Blossom. Daddy shows. Cerberus, what did you think of the writing letters for people aspect? I thought that was a really cool and like interesting way of getting her to connect with humanity. Just because I feel like there's a lot of power in words, in the written word, and for her to have to try to understand what somebody's feeling and then transcribe that onto paper and try to convey like, the love they feel or the hate they feel or however they feel, into words, I feel like was a really interesting way to get her to do just, shadowing people and then like watching how people interact with each other. So I thought that was neat. I actually thought that was neat, but like I don't know. There was some good stuff in the show. Maybe it wasn't a bad show, but maybe it just wasn't for me. Like maybe that's a better way of putting it. I hope that answered your question a little bit, Cerberus. Sorry if I didn't answer it very good. I did like that though. And then the different types of people she met through, working there and having to write the letters and then, having to understand like, I wrote this exactly like how you said, why are you mad? It's like, but that's not what I meant. Like, just because I said it this way doesn't mean that's actually my true feelings. Or just because you can say this to somebody doesn't mean like you should. Which I feel like is a problem a lot of people have. It's like, you could say this, but maybe you need to learn some tact, Maybe you need to soften that up a little bit. Like, instead of calling them a piece of shit, maybe say, oh, you need some improvement. You need to do some self-work. Somewhere like that. Oh, and the animation was gorgeous. Like, there's one thing I can't take away from this show. It was beautiful. Like, holy shit, the budget. they efforted. Like, I will give the team props for that. Incredible. Y'all got any more questions before I move on to the next show? Yes, it's eyebrow time. This is gonna be the craziest stream in like retrospect. Oh, got me. No, I'm good. Okay. Okay, fair enough. All right. So second to last show, and then I might talk about one more. Is Be the Beginning. I tried talking about this in a video I was gonna make, but didn't end up releasing. Has anyone seen Be the Beginning? I know one of you did, but I won't spoil who. I won't spoil it, but I know. I'm watching. I'm watching you very, very carefully. Okay, that's fine. No worries. Let's make it easier and say I've never seen any of the shows, but you've been up to date. Kagami. Okay. Okay. Savage as always. That's all right. I'll just pretend that no one's seen any shows. Gotcha. So, Be the Beginning is split between two storylines. On the one, you have this story about a detective. His name is Keith Flick, which is a weird name, but all right. He is trying to solve the case of like different murders. There's like a serial killer on the loose, and he's trying to resolve that. And on the other hand, you have oh my god, I can't remember this kid's name. Dark-haired protagonist with crazy abilities and a sad backstory. Is this starting to sound familiar? He is just doing his thing, being supernatural and shit, and fighting people. And eventually the two of them meet. My problem with this show was that the story of the detective was far more interesting to me than the story about the supernatural kid. Just because, I don't know, the detective was really super reminiscent a little bit of Sherlock. Like, there are even scenes where he's like thinking through things and you see all like the words and stuff on the screen. And like, you can tell that he's, actually trying to solve this mystery. And I thought those parts were way more interesting than this story about the supernatural kid. And there was stuff about, what was it? There was like some kind of legend and prophecies, and the kids were like experiments. Like, I'm sorry, I'm spoiling the shit out of this show. I'm sorry, guys. Spoilers for Be the Beginning. Okay, go. So yeah, it just kind of, on the one, Kagami, the MacGuffin legend, pretty much. Like, on the one hand, you have a very stereotypical story about a legend and a chosen one, and a damsel in distress. And on the other hand, you have an interesting story about this detective trying to use his wits to deal with this situation. And he's human, he doesn't get to rely on magical abilities and crazy Naruto eyes and whatnot to solve his problems. He's got to figure it out on his own. And I just thought, this well-grounded, down-to-earth story was really, really, pushing against this high-flying legend about gods and angel, like what was it? It was like almost like they were trying to explain angels or some sort of thing. It was like humanity and like these different otherworldly beings. It was fucking nuts, okay? It was ridiculous. And so the two of them together, you're like, what am I watching? Apple Blossom says it sounds like there were two different shows in the show. And yeah, that's basically what it was. It was like two different shows. And so when the characters eventually meet, it just like, oh my God. That's, I feel like, where it started to really come apart at the seams, especially because you would be cutting between the one kid trying to save his lover from some fucking satellite. Like, he like literally flew up to space on raven wings. I wish I was lying. He literally flies up to space on this satellite to deal with a baddie. Meanwhile, you have the detective that's like actually like doing things and solving this case and like tracking down this guy. Akagami sounds like watching a train wreck. Things went from bad to worse in an instant. Gold Jester sounds like a bad acid trip. Yes, to some degree it was, especially because you're watching through the show and you're hoping like it'll resolve itself, it'll start to make more sense, it'll start to actually like figure itself out. And then it doesn't. And then you're just like, well, we watched that. That was a show that existed. Yeah. So, I mean, I wish the detective story was its own show, because by itself, it had all of the intrigue, it had all the parts, it had all of the elements it needed to be its own thing. But it got saddled with this story about this dark-haired protagonist with a sad backstory and crazy abilities that's trying to save the love of his life. It's just so unfortunate, unfortunately. It just dragged the whole show down. So, maybe it would be worth watching if you want to see the detective story, because I feel like his story was worth telling. And I would watch another season if he was in it and the other bitches weren't. Like, ship them off. We don't need them. Like, give me, and it hits that same itch that Death Note did, where it was like a battle of wits and you trying to figure out like who did it and how to prove it, like, where you're watching this person actually solve shit rather than just like, oh, stupid powers and look at this stone that tells the backstory of the people and whoa. Service, can I has more detective animes? Yes, I want that. Golden Jester, remember the good old days where the dark-haired protagonist with mysterious, sad past and crazy abilities was the detective? Beverage Farms remembers. It was good to see you, Akemi. I'll probably only be on for like 7 more minutes. I wanted to keep this to an hour. But if you got to split, that's okay. It was good to see you, even though you were late. Bye, late person. Everyone say goodbye to the heathen. No, she doesn't have a reason. She has no reason. She needs to be here for me. Yes, they are filthy sinners. We should make sure they know the place. Akemi's not allowed to go anywhere. She's got a YouTube channel. YouTubers don't go anywhere. We sit here and complain about YouTube. Fare thee well, heathen, indeed. Indeed. You can. I just have to give you a hard time. Sweet. So I'm pretty much through the shows I wanted to talk about. Um, just before we go, did anyone have anything they were watching? Not necessarily even anime, just something that they wanted to like vent about, like if it's like a shitty show or whatever. Got any Be the Beginnings or Sword Guys where it's just like they just stumbled at the finish line and you're like, oh, you could have been good. You could have been good. You were not good. You were not good at all. BoJack Horseman. Um, Kogia season 3. Oh shit, that's right. That's supposed to drop soon. I need it. I need it in my eye holes. I hope they don't mess it up. I hope they don't mess it up. But you know how that goes. We'll see. I'm hopeful that they don't botch it, but I'm also sweaty. Mostly because it's been so long. Yeah, Kagami, they are doing another season, and I'm not sure if it's going to be a season or a movie or like what the deal with that is. There's more of it and I'm stoked, but oh, the final season of Fairy Tail. I didn't know you were watching Fairy Tail. Do you like it? I started it, but I fell off, unfortunately. Uncle Jester, if it's bad, I will obliterate Britannia. I'm sure some people would appreciate you for that. Aw, that's awesome. Do you know when the last season airs? Is it pretty soon, JFM? Oh god, that live action Death Note movie still like I still have like flashbacks of Light screaming like a bitch when he saw Ryuk. Oh, mid-October. Cool. That's exciting. Well, maybe when that airs, then I have an excuse to just binge it. Because I'm lazy and I like to have all of the seasons like uh-oh. Golden Jester's got something to say about that Death Note comment. There's some salt in the chat. But that's none of my business. Willem Dafoe was a tour de force. Willem Dafoe was a good choice for Ryuk. The rest of it was not a good choice. The rest of it was not. Me, Cerberus, and a bunch of friends watched the Death Note movie with drinks, and even then, it was insufferable. Even then, like, it was hard to keep yourself from getting angry because of just how bad it was. He really was the only good part of that movie. Like, I mean, and there were parts when Ryuk showed up that were actually like, oh shit, like this was actually kind of scary. But then they just pissed it away. You know, with this Light was so greasy. He was so gross. Like you could feel like the layer of film like through the screen. You're just like, oh, you could fry a herd of buffalo in that grease. Oh, JFM, you saw it too. You can attest to how painful it was. Like it was horrendous. And I'm generally pretty forgiving. Generally, I'm like, it's an adaptation. Sometimes they'll have to change things, but they just like kept the names and they just shat like all over this show. Like they did not care about the source material at all. Like they just took the name and wanted to make some money, and that was it. Aw, he had a weird conscience that did not align with the source material. Yeah, they really botched it. They really yes, Apple, a whole herd. Like go Google the live action. Go Google how Light looks, and then tell me that he is not like greasy. Like, do you think that that guy could woo thousands of people with his charm and get people to believe in the god Kira? Like, look at him and say, "Are you god material?" Yeah, Cerberus, I agree. Like, I don't think they should have touched it. Like, I feel like, they should have just left it be. And, especially because Japan had already done a live action version and it wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't too bad. Um, Death Note, produced by Netflix and Crisco. Yes. Yes. Pretty much. Oh, that just made my day. He looks like he belongs on Riverdale, TBH. Right? He does not look like the type of guy whose charisma would make you be like, you know what? I could get behind some death gods and some killing people. Like, I could get, like, he does not look like the type of guy that would be like, yeah, I'll risk oblivion for this. Like, Golden Jester, I'll take a lard and eat it. Oh, this is so good, you guys. This is good. This is quality. Someday I might have to, I don't know if I could suffer through this, but I might have to do a stream of just like watching the Death Note movie again. Although I might actually die. I might physically die, so maybe not. Maybe I won't put myself through that. Yes, I will worship his grease ship. Grease. Yes, greasy. We could, especially because that's what that movie deserves. Like, it deserves to just be roasted. Like, at least as much as people shit on Ghost in the Shell, at least they tried. Like, yes, there was some weird stuff. There were some weird choices made. I will not deny that. But at least Scarlett Johansson isn't greasy. Okay, she ain't greasy. So there's that. Like, I don't ask a lot. Just don't be greasy, okay? Don't be that guy. Don't be greasy. Oh, you should pitch that exact stream as unfriended 3. Then we'll die for real. Maybe that's what they watched and they all died. She does. She does. Although she does make some weird choices when it comes to the movies she's volunteering for lately. Like, but, at least for that movie, I felt like, it was a weird choice, but at least she wasn't greasy. But, it's an American anime adaptation. It's not going to be everything we want. So, okay. I'm gonna skedaddle now, guys. Since it's been about an hour. Wow, that flew by. That wasn't so bad. Yay. Thanks for hanging out with me on this little experiment. I was so nervous to try this, but I'm glad I actually did. So thanks for actually coming and hanging out with me. I could talk forever about all the different shows I've seen, but I might save that for another stream where we just kind of I don't know. I guess time flies when you're having fun. But yeah, it was good to have you guys on here. Yes, it was fun. Thanks so much for coming. It was good. And I'll have to tell you more of the exploits of the other shite I am filling my eyeballs with because shit. There is some doo-doo. Aw, thanks, JFM. hopefully I have my act together and I can actually give you guys more, because this would be a fun thing to do every now and then. Like if I just watch a bunch of shows and then just kind of tell you, over the stream how I felt about them, rather than just making a video where you can't. I mean, you can leave comments, but I feel like this is way more fun having you guys actually talk to me and give your commentary, especially because you guys are hilarious. You guys are hysterical. So, at least even if I have to sit through some shiza, at least your commentary, gets me through it, gives me some solidarity. All right, I'll see you guys later. Thank you for everything. Bye.